BJ O'Neill here with the Business Coaching Success Podcast. So glad you're here, where I share with you strategies, tools, and tips to be able to grow your business coaching practice to six figures and beyond as a Christian business coach. Let's jump in. Well, welcome. Glad that you are here on this episode of the Business Coaching Success Podcast. Should I niche? Should I choose a specific industry? What should I do? Should I not choose anything? This is going to be a fairly swift episode, straight to the point. I'm going to give you some key things to think about. However, I get this question all the time. When it comes to getting started, and even those that have been coaching for a while, they still wonder about this topic. And I'm going to give you several different things to think about to give you clarity, especially if you're considering starting your business coaching journey. And the question that you first need to ask, all right? So you've pondered thinking about starting your business, you want your coaching business, you want more flexibility, you want more income, you want to spend time with more of your family, you're tired of working for somebody else and building their dream, you want to build your own. And these types of questions typically, or the meaning like, should I niche, stop us oftentimes from moving forward. Maybe that's you. The question you first need to ask to get into this is, well, what is it that do I want overall? In other words, what is it do I really want? What is coaching really going to do for me? Most people, as they process this, they think about just the coaching part of it. How you want to coach, where, virtual, in person, all that stuff. All those things matter. But the bigger one that matters is what's called root cause. In other words, but what's the overall purpose? And it really comes down to typically to two things. One, income. What kind of income do I want to have from this? Number two, purpose. How do I want to serve people? How do I want to help people? You likely love helping people. That's the reason why you're interested in coaching. But how do I want to do that? Answering those is going to give you direction on does niching even matter? So let me give you some context. If you're in a situation where you need to earn a higher than average income, $300,000, for instance, versus maybe God's blessed you, you sold a business and you've got, finances are, it's not that you don't need finances, but you're not in that situation to need to have to work the same way that you worked for the last 30 years. And so perhaps you do want to help others, you do want to earn something, but maybe you only need to earn $80,000 a year. This is going to begin to help us determine what type of energy, passion, purpose, all that's going to happen, because the average coach charges around $2,000 per month for one-on-one coaching. There's other types of coaching, group coaching and not micro coaching, but the average is $2,000 for one-on-one coaching. Well, that begins to drive direction. If I needed to earn $100,000 and I'm going to charge $2,000, I know how many clients I'm going to need. So the point is this: if you need a low amount of clientele versus a higher amount of clientele quantity-wise, that can help you somewhat. It's just a piece of the puzzle to answer, to determine, is it a good idea to be able to niche or not? Why? Well, when you niche, it is true that you have the opportunity typically, keyword typically, to advance things slightly faster. The biggest is the benefit from referrals from the current clients that you have. And so if you're in one specific industry and you understand that industry, there's a lot of reciprocity there, they likely know others who are doing the same thing. Now, they may know other people too that own businesses, but they're able to be very specific. Hey, my coach really helped me to do this. That's going to speak volumes oftentimes to someone that they know. So it gives it, again, it's not black and white, but it is another piece of the puzzle to process. Okay, first we have to ask that question. What do I want? It's going to help give us some direction. The second thing is, or actually the 3 points I want to share with you, is number one, the benefits of niching down. There are benefits, okay? Being able to specialize gives you the opportunity to be very specific to your thoughts, to your how you create content, how you communicate. You're not, you have a really a good opportunity to be very, very narrow focused in how you present yourself, your message in the marketplace. If you were to go to a networking event, or if you sent an email or whatnot, you're not having to go outside the bounds. You're very, very specific. You're very tailored, right? The benefits, it gives you an opportunity to increase credibility and authority inside that niche. Okay, so you may have the chance to be able to speak at industry trade shows, or conferences and whatnot. Doing that a number of times, or even writing a book that would be all about that niche and how you help them. So your authority, your prominence will typically increase, or it has the opportunity, done correctly, to increase quicker because you're specific inside that. And typically also from sales and marketing, depending upon how you do lead generation. This is probably a big one, especially if you decide to attend any type of conference function, trade show function, or whatever. If I was coaching just in the HVAC industry, for instance, and I were to go to HVAC trade shows, and I am I'm the guy, I'm the HVAC guy, clearly in there, that is a very attractive character, if you will. So there is benefits to doing that. I want to be very clear. Does that mean that, from what I just said, that I can't be successful if I don't niche? Absolutely not. Okay? Absolutely not. We'll get there. All right. So those are some of the benefits of niching down. The second is the risks of niching down too early. Now, this is important as well. And some of the things I just said, I might step on the toes of, because there are risks of niching too early. Here's an example. If you're in a situation right now where you're asking this question and you don't really have a lot of direction, the risk is, if I spend time in a niche that I don't know a lot about, that I don't yet have authority in, but my goal is, or I'm trying to niche into that, there's a lot of risk there, because you could be, number one, missing a lot of opportunity in other places because you're not spending any time there. And there's people that need help there. There's people that are looking for instruction. There's people that are looking for a guide, someone to coach them through a process, because you're trying to focus in one area that you don't have a lot of resources in yet. You don't have a lot of contacts in yet. There's the risk. So I've seen it happen. Somebody will spend 4 to 6 months in there, then they'll shift it somewhere else. That didn't work. They'll shift again. All of a sudden they're 6, 10, 12, 14, 18 months in, and they're still pedaling water, or treading water. You can't really pedal water, treading water rather, because they're just kind of bouncing all over the place because someone told them that they should niche. And the answer to that is, when you really don't know, don't. Go help somebody first. Please. Don't spend time trying to just niche. All right? Which brings to the third point and last one. Well, how do I know if niching is right for me or not? So the question is, in the beginning, here's the easy one. You know it's a great place for you if you've owned a business for many, many years and you sold it and you enjoyed that area, then that's a clear opportunity. Doesn't mean you have to do it. If you owned an automotive, repair shop, and you sold it and you did well and you did it for 20 years or whatever, and you really enjoy coaching others, then it's a very probable angle for you to coach other automotive shop owners. Same thing, maybe if you owned an HVAC company or a roofing company, or the list goes on and on and on. So that's one. The second one is, meaning you're coming from, you sold a business in a niche that you like. Now, I know guys who did that, they did not enjoy, they went out of that industry. Well, then clearly that industry for you to niche in is not for you. The second is, if you worked in an industry for many years in your 9-to-5 world, and you love that industry, and it makes good sense because you're very familiar in that industry. Got some guys right now in the oil and gas sector that they're going to point their energy directly all into what they've done for the last 30 years. Makes a lot of good. They're very knowledgeable. They have a lot of connections. That's a big one. You know, when you're coming from a world like that, you have a lot of connections. It makes a lot of good sense to be able to do that. Banking, mortgage, real estate, Same thing, right? The third is passion. If you're super passionate about an area and you have a lot of knowledge, it's not going to take you a lot of time to learn the industry knowledge, then yeah, could be a good idea for you to niche into that industry. Here's the most important part though. If what I just said, you didn't sell a business, you didn't come from a specific industry, you don't have this major passion, then niching's not for you, at least yet. It's a great idea, but it's not a great idea when you overly spend too much time overthinking it, when there's a lot of people inside your circle of influence and your network that likely need help. And I've been afforded the opportunity over the many years to coach in all kinds of different industries, from real estate to salons, to nonprofits, to home building, general contracting, water filtration companies, like you name it, the list goes on and on. Simply because of referrals and just showing how I can help someone. So the point is this: you're going to know in your heart from your passion and your past experience if niching's for you. If you don't have those, don't even worry about it right now. What could happen? You coach somebody that's working well, they'll give you a referral in the same industry. That's working well. And sometimes the niching just kind of is organic. But we should not spend time. I understand client avatars are important. We preach and talk about that inside of our coaching system in our community. But it should not be the reason why you can't lay your head on the pillow at night and get rest because you haven't made a decision on where you're going to niche down in quotations. You're far better off to go connect with people, help people, and move them along the journey to become a prospect and just help them. Doesn't matter if they own a dry cleaning company, if they owned a garage floor company, if they owned a technologies company, doesn't matter, because business is business. Everybody needs clients. Everybody needs to control their expenses or watch them. Everybody needs to understand how to be compelling. Everybody needs to understand how to be unique. Everybody needs to understand how to communicate and to do it well. And the list goes on and on and on. Every business needs that. So if you've bought into this idea that you can only be successful by niching, that's not correct, but it might be a good idea based upon what we discussed already today. Hope that helps. I hope that gives you value today in just your journey and the things that you're thinking about. If you are considering becoming a business coach and you're a person of faith and you have passion, purpose, flexibility, all those things matter to you, making a good living, helping others, and you just don't know where to start, you don't have any resources and tools, you can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. There's some information there that we'll share with you about our done-for-you system. And if you're curious about just if it would work for you, you can also schedule a time to chat with us, and we'll explain how it all works, and we'll go from there. All right? Until next time, take care.